Welcome to Bleachers to Speakers. I'm your host, June, and we're not going to call him B. Foster no more. He is Ford Field Foster.
Field Foster, that's fire. That's fire.
Ford Field Foster. What's up, Foss?
Hey man, another good game, man. That was fun. That was lit.
You were in the building. You were in Ford Field, and that's why I call him Ford Field Foster, for those who didn't catch on. Tell me what it was like. What was the atmosphere, man?
It was electric. You love going to games like that just because there was no down. It was pretty much up the entire time, and it's fun. This is what the Lions experience is always supposed to have been like, and I feel like I just haven't had it. The average, Lions fan has not had a chance to experience this much excitement and optimism. And shout out to the Eastern Market tailgate, the Shed 5 little setup they got going on. Real fun, real classy. Good
Okay.
vibes for sure, for sure.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, yesterday's game, there was the Lions never trailed. And from watching it, there was no doubt. Um, I had a few doubts going in because of the injuries, not because of the opponent or what we're unable to do whatsoever, but it was just more so the injuries. I was more concerned about all the injuries. St. Brown was ruled out. Gibbs was ruled out. I mean, that's two pieces of your offense, two big pieces of your offense. Um, it was just, but as the game, played out, there was never a doubt. Uh, they played very well, offensively and defensively, and we're gonna get into all that. But you were front row and center
Kind
for,
of. Not quite
well,
front row.
I mean, just it's just a figure of speech. For work
Yeah.
with me now, work with me now. But I'm just saying, you were in the building, and uh the Lions strike first. I mean, did the roof blow up, or was it just like, take us through how it went? You remember the first touchdown?
I do not actually. Yeah, I'm not even 100% sure which one that was, whether it was a running play. I think it was it the QB
Wasn't
sneak?
it
I don't know.
one was a big run by Montgomery, I believe?
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. And you know what? I was kind of getting into my seat at that point because I didn't
Oh, right.
show up right. Yeah. That tailgate was in, the little shuttle and but yeah. But I mean, it was electric and it was fun. We scored a whole bunch of points. We got some turnovers. Um, we got to see the return of JMO and what that
Mhm.
into. I think that was one of the first plays I saw was the drop, I want to say. So
You would, uh, actually sit down and see the drop firsthand. It's
no, it's
like,
crazy
that's
because the first play I saw the last year when I went to the game was the touchdown by JMO. So it was
that's
definitely a
crazy.
tale of two different highs and lows. But
That's crazy.
yeah, that was like you just kind of look and you say, that is not
I'm
that is
I
not what
missed
we
the
wanted to see.
I missed the touchdown pass last year. Like, I think I went to the bathroom or something, and I came back, and you could hear it on the TV, like, the crowd going crazy, and it was like, "Damn, I missed something."
Man, that was
But
cool.
I missed it live, so I didn't so, it was crazy. Um, Montgomery, 2nd game in a row, over 100 yards, and, he was running that pill. He was running that pill. I like what I'm seeing from Montgomery. Um, Goff had an efficient game, very
Mhm.
efficient. I mean, can we okay, he threw for, like, I had the total. I had the total. It was over 200 yards, but
Two
he had a
some, yeah.
quarterback 236 yards passing, right? Now to me, at just always looking at quarterback stats, if it's under 300 for me, I'm like, "Eh." But Goff threw 20 for 28, 236 yards, and had a quarterback rating of 132.4. 4 total touchdowns from Goff. And I believe they put 4 total touchdowns because I think he got a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think he had 3 touchdown passes. So that is you can't ask for much production like that from a quarterback. I don't care if he throws for less than 250, like, that kinda efficiency, no turnovers, because we know God what's been happening, like, after the streak. He threw a pick six in Seattle, and then he threw another interception the next game, and, he cleaned that up this game. He didn't have any interception. Um, I don't think the Lions turned the ball over at all, did they?
No,
No
they didn't.
no turnovers, and, the turnovers um, that were forced, they capitalized on.
Yeah, and keep him and we can't look past the fact that 2 of his most, dangerous weapons as far as in the air didn't play the game. The number 1
Yeah.
receiver and Gibbs catches the ball quite a bit out the backfield as well. So, um, that's you he would be more susceptible to a turnover, possibly throwing the guys that he's not used to throwing to as often. So
Now the game ended at 42-24. Now, did you leave early or did you sit and watch
we
every
sat and watched
single
the entire. I think we left with a minute. I think when it was time to kneel, I think we started walking out of the stadium. So we stayed for because I think a lot of the people around us, a decent amount of people around us, were kind of headed for the parking lot about halfway through the fourth quarter when it was pretty much in the bag. It was in the bag. So
So, you did see the way Reynolds was running the ball.
yeah, that was huge too. That was he stepped right in and yeah, he had about
Yeah,
60 plus yards, and it was cool to
with
see. It was cool to see Montgomery, like when Reynolds would normally know to lead a game because get it back to the number one running back. Montgomery was like, "Nah, you doing your thing. Stay out there and get you
Mhm.
one."
I like the mentality of Montgomery. He even said yesterday, "You haven't seen anything yet. I'm just getting started."
Yeah.
So, you like to see that the running game has been working. Like I said, Montgomery had over 100 yards, and Craig Reynolds came in, and I know it was garbage time, but at the same time, you need to run clock, and he did a very good job running the ball. He looked fast. He looked like the vision was there. Uh, I mean, not Jameer Gibbs fast, but he was, he ran the ball. He ran the ball, and that's something you like to see. Josh Reynolds is he played a great game, and Marvin Jones had a catch yesterday. Was it Marvin
Two of
Jones?
them. Two of them
He
things.
he he had a couple catches there, Foster. I mean, he wasn't just blocking yesterday. He's in the stat
Cardio.
sheet. Yeah. Laporta. Laporta, we gotta talk about Laporta too. Laporta,
That's the best tight end in the
he's
game right now. Most yards.
yeah, man, that is I mean, considering Kelsey sat out a game, but you still have Kittles in there, you still have you know what I'm saying? So that's saying a lot, and he had
Not
2
everybody
touchdowns
else.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns yesterday, and he looks the part, like, the tight end position, like, that was one of those draft picks where I was like, "I don't know, man," it just made me look crazy. Just made thanks, Laporta, thanks, Laporta. Thank you, I appreciate that. Now, Foster, we're gonna get into, these, offensive grades. So, I just gotta ask you, how would you grade the offense yesterday?
I believe I gave the offense I gave him a solid A. I gave him a solid A. I would have been willing to give them an A plus, but There were points in the game that were I felt like we were super vanilla and regular, and there was definitely a handful of times where I was kind of like, really, that was the play. Um, I will give them an A and not an A minus, because I do remember one point, and then next thing you know, reverse flea flicker. And I was like, okay, well, that's what I was looking for. Um,
Mhm.
Even the play, which I couldn't tell, because of course I wasn't on top of the field. I couldn't even tell that snap went through Goff's legs directly to the running back. I couldn't. One of our homeboys put it in the group chat, and I didn't know what he was talking. I was like, what is he? I didn't realize that had happened like that. Like, that's
That's
got to
one
be
of
the
the
first.
benefits of watching the game at home, Foster.
And the replay too, because they,
The
they
replay,
showed
that's
them.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't peep that until I got home, but that's something that I've never seen before. And if you notice, a lot of people have noticed that flea flicker play, the 49ers utilized it that night against the Cowboys, and the route that was that game. But Ben Johnson just continues to show the creativity and make things happen. 'Cause, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's
Sorry,
funny.
Clown. I didn't get to the comments, but I see you now. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Foster.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because I was at the game, and I was watching, and I was at the tailgate, and I see all these old jerseys of running backs that we used to have, such as Javid Best and Amir Abdullah,
Mhm.
and you remember, it's like, wow, we went through a lot of running backs in between Barry, and we've only got Kevin Jones, and we've only got it right just a handful of times. A lot of those guys
You
only
just
played
said
for,
some athletes we had at running back, and I just
and these
got
guys
mad
were
all over.
burners. These guys were real
Yes,
burners.
Best, Kevin Jones, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Swift
Oh,
now. So, um,
you're
but
killing me,
yeah,
man.
what was I talking about? I got off track for a second,
That's my fault, man. That's my fault. We were great in the offense, though.
but yeah. So, oh yeah, just how Ben Johnson has continued to, despite the fact that Montgomery didn't play one game, Jameer didn't play this game, uh, St. Brown didn't play this game. He still,
Mm.
it seems to be a seamless transition, no matter who's out. So, um, yeah, definitely an A grade as far as the offense.
Well, I don't give out A pluses. I mean, you have to have a perfect game. So, but it was definitely a A for me. Um, and the biggest things were no turnovers and capitalizing off the turnovers that was forced, and they weren't settling for there were no field goals when they got those turnovers. I mean, I know the Hutchinson interception was deep on in their territory. That's one thing, but the I think it was it a fumble that they scored on after that, or I know it
I,
was
I
another
know
turnover.
I know Will Harris recovered a fumble. I don't know what the end result
Mhm.
was for that, but
Well,
yeah, I
one of
think
the one turnovers, it wasn't like deep on the other deep in in or red zone territory, but capitalize off of it. It was 7 point. It was the flea flicker right after that.
yeah,
That
that
was they did the flea flicker after a turnover, so it was like the first play.
yeah,
So
that's the way to do it when
that's
you
the
got the
way to
momentum.
do it. I
Yeah,
mean, it was just I don't think I'll ever grade out as an A plus, but
never.
the offense, nah, man.
That's
I
you
mean,
got to
you
do.
would
You got to
have
do a whole lot. Got to put up like 60. You got to put up a 60 ball, right?
I mean, if you look at it, you have to ask what else do they have to do because I read you Goff's numbers, right?
Yeah,
Then you had 100-yard rusher on top of that.
yeah.
All you needed was like a even if you got 100-yard receiver, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't know, man.
Hey, the
I just
Dolphins
don't.
put up what? 70, 80?
We're
Well, how
not
many was it?
we're not talking about the
That's an
Dolphins
A
today.
plus. That's an A
I mean,
plus.
hey man, I'm sure they messed up something. But anyway, but how often do you see 70 points though? in
That's why
football.
you got. That's why you gotta.
I mean, that's probably if that's the case, then that's a rare occasion. Like I just don't see me giving out A pluses. So what my point is, an A is probably the best you'll get from me, and I give him an A. So
Yeah.
how would you grade the defense?
Um, the defense, I graded them an A minus. They did give up 24 points. As Klopp said, the last two touchdowns were kind of prevent defense. They don't really factor as much into the into the final offensive statistics as as you would as the stats would lead on. Um,
Mhm.
Adam Thielen had 10 catches when it was all said and done. He
He
was
was
just
getting
like,
down. He looked like
yeah,
he was in Minnesota. He was
yeah.
getting down.
He's done very well. He's definitely been um, Bryce Young's favorite target, which doesn't surprise me because yeah, he's doing exactly what he's been doing his entire even young career. So, but overall, he was just kind of taking his 10 yards at a time, just so that we're not giving up any major plays. But outside of that, we had several turnovers, which definitely improves. I feel like when it comes to when you talk about getting A's is on the defensive side or anywhere in the A range, you got to take the ball at least once, or you got to hold them to
Pause.
under. Yeah,
That
but
was
you got to
that was great.
hold them under just a few touchdowns. So outside of that, oh no, we had three three turnovers because
Yeah.
Hutch had a pick. Will Harris had a fumble
Jerry,
recovery, and then
Jerry,
Your boy Jury.
Jerry.
Hey, tie for the league lead with 3 interceptions. So,
Hey man, get that man a
um,
bonus, man. Get that man a
hey,
bonus. Like, hey, that, that's for Jerry Jacobs, man. That's what
he
that's for Jerry, man. What you call him? Your boy Jerry.
Jury with the U,
The
Jury.
you jury. And you was talking bad about him, boss. Shame on you.
Right,
Go ahead.
right.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
blame you.
the defense is first in the league as far as rushing yards per game at 68 yards per game, which is insane.
Mhm.
I think they said that after 5 games, the fact that we only have 342 rushing yards given up is the least since 1942, which is just one of those wild stats. That's like 1942, like what was going on in the 40s? Like that was, but um, but yeah. Was there anything else I had to say? Of course, Hutch had another great game. He had a sack to go with that interception,
Mm.
and yeah, that's it. That's it.
You know what? I definitely I graded him out as an A, because of the turnovers. And like I said, though there were two touchdowns in garbage time. The game was over at halftime as far as I was concerned. I think it was 28-10 at halftime. And I'll now you know what? I'm gonna give them an A minus because they did allow Bryce Young to get down a little bit. He he had his first touchdown passes against us. I mean it was, but you only gonna hold that young man down for so long. And the defense played pretty. The game was never in doubt. It was just never in doubt. That pass rush looks something terrible. Like it looks relentless and scary. There was a scary moment though after the interception when Hutch got hit. He couldn't do the
Mm.
stanky leg. That leg was hurting.
Hey, no, yeah, because he took a hard
He
hit. He took
oh,
a
he got
hard hit
popped.
to his hip. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
got
that was
popped, and he limped to the side, but, you couldn't see it, Foster, but on TV, he was
good.
sitting there with a trainer laughing. So I
Okay,
so you knew he was fine because he was laughing. He was celebrating and laughing, but there was a trainer in front of me. But I'm sitting here waiting, and I'm waiting like, hopefully, he's going to get back on the field, and he did. Like, he was out there the next series, so
he's probably got a mean bruise though.
Oh, he feeling it today.
Yeah.
He's feeling that today. But, we're gonna pay a couple bills real quick, and then we'll get back to the coach's grade. What do you think about that, Foss? Okay, Foss, tell me how you grade the coaches, this week.
I gave the coaches an A minus. I think that they handled business. We were definitely the favorites going into the game. We were at home, of course, and nothing about the Carolina Panthers seemed scary. And but they made sure that this team was ready to go. There was no letdown, given the fact that we were heavy favorites. We were able to pull some more trick plays out that I feel like we're just slowly unfolding some of those a little bit at a time, because we do have some games upcoming that we are going to continue to get tested, and I feel like you don't want to show too much, especially when it just wasn't necessary in this game. I think that at points we do, and this may be just kind of the underplay for the overlay, or however you want to call it, but I feel like we do display some conservativeness, and I think that has there's probably a multitude of reasons to why that happens, but we are still trying to work JMO into the fold. We're still trying to work Gibbs into the fold. We did not have our number one receiver yet, and still we put up 40 plus points in spite of all that. So I don't have too many complaints from them, and blowing out a team that is 0-4 that's what we very well could have been in a close game that shouldn't have been. So when we can beat the teams that we're supposed to beat, that's what good teams do. They don't have those letdowns. When the pressure, when the pressure just wasn't really on at any point during that game.
I'll never forget last year, Carolina was not a good team, and we were trying to make the playoffs and went down there and laid an egg.
Yep.
So, the teams that you're supposed to demolish and the teams you're supposed to win against, they are winning. And we always seem to give Coach Campbell some love, and we worship Ben Johnson. We don't. We only slam Aaron Glenn
It's
when
true. He
when
does
it's
not
when it's
get
a
the
bad
same.
defensive game. We have to show Aaron Glenn some kind of love because defensively, they look good in every game except the one against Seattle. And Seattle's been moving the ball pretty good against everybody except for the Rams that first game. But uh that was just we got to show Aaron Glenn some love and
It was cold, boy. It was cold out there.
yeah, man, that wasn't typical Carolina weather, but yeah, that it was but we got to show Aaron Glenn some love. That defense is playing. It was a well coached game, offensively and defensively. I think the way they use Laporte and Josh Reynolds in the absence of St. Brown and Raymond in the absence of St. Brown, they made it work. They took advantage of matchups and lineups, and it was a game never in doubt. And that's a well coached football team. That we saw Sunday. So what I'm gonna do now, Foster, it's your time to shine. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna step back like I usually do and let you talk about this week's player of the game.
All right.
Featured player of the week. I messed that up totally. I'm sorry. This is the featured player of the
Feature
week,
player.
Foster. Talk about.
All right. So this week we're going to look at what I described as the centerpiece to the culture of the defense, and that is Aiden Hutchinson. I feel like he's a guy that we talk about some of the other guys, but he's so consistent and such a constant that sometimes we take him for granted, even though he shows us the reason why he is, the overall MVP of the defense when it's all said and done. But Aiden Hutchinson is a local guy. He's actually from Plymouth, Michigan, and he ultimately stayed at home and went to the University of Michigan and had a great college career. He was drafted second overall. We appreciate the Jacksonville Jaguars for picking Mr. Walker ahead of him because they definitely made the wrong pick, in my opinion. But so yeah, he was the overall number 2 pick. And he had a pretty good rookie season. He started a little slow, but overall he had 9.5 sacks. He had 3 interceptions, which is definitely one of the most impressive parts of his stat line. And he ended up getting second in the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Obviously, to Sauce Gardner, who was also a Michigan guy, Detroit, a cornerback from Detroit, in fact. So yeah, he's having thus far he's having another really, really good year. He's a versatile defensive lineman who's able to play the inside as well as the outside. He equally is able to be a pass rusher as well as stopping the run. We are the number 1 defensive rushing against team. And he is a big part of that. And he's also able to defend against the pass, of course. He had 3 last year interceptions, and he has 1 as of yesterday. So he's very versatile. He does it all. He leads the league in pressures as well. Like I said, he has 4.5 sacks this year, and he's well on his way to. He's on the pace to have 15 sacks if he keeps at the pace he's going at now, and he's well over the close to half of what he had last year because he had 9.5 sacks last year, and he's got 4 right now. So he's almost halfway there, and yeah, he's been a pivotal, of course, pivotal reason to why our defense has improved as much as it has. And if the Lions can continue to put people around him, it'll make his job even easier. But I think that no matter what, I think Hutch is going to be a constant defensive player. He's one of those guys that, it's early in his career, but of course, I think we would all love to see him play for the next 10 plus years in Detroit. I can't see him being anywhere else. Once again, Jacksonville Jaguars, I appreciate you for pick. I don't even know what, I think his last name is Walker. I want to call him
Walker.
Jimmy Walker.
He starts with a T.
Starts with a T. Yeah, I want to call him Jimmy Walker, like JJ from Good Times, but I think that is incorrect.
It's very incorrect there.
Yeah, that is not correct, but it sounds good at the same time. But yeah, that is our featured player. That is the centerpiece of our defense as a whole, but of course our defensive line. And this defense just continues to impress from week to week. You love to see it. Aiden Hutchinson, featured player.
Can you imagine if Jacksonville had a took Hutch? I mean, just we probably would have went defensive end, but it would have been either Walker or Thibodeau.
That's right, Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, exactly.
Thibodeau. It would have been one of those two, and neither one of them.
It probably would have been Kayvon, I think.
Yeah, it probably would have been, but and as you can see, they're not doing what Hutch is doing. So
no,
it was a blessing to get him.
Trayvon Walker, by the way. I had to look that up.
Yeah,
My
I
bad.
knew it
My
started
bad,
with a
big
T.
dog. Okay, yeah, you got it. You got that right.
Yeah. But just imagine if we went in another direction not by choice, but we lucked up. We got the best defensive end in the draft, and he's making dividends. He has an interception this year as well. So, yeah, but the most impressive thing about Hutch is his hustle every play. His motor is nonstop. I mean, he gets held, he gets triple teamed, double teamed. But you see that effort just about every play, and you
Yeah.
can't ask more than that.
Not to cut your wisdom, but when you think about Campbell guys, I mean, he is the epitome of that. He's a hard worker, no nonsense guy. He likes to get his jig on the field, gets his little dance, his little Dougie, his little stanky leg, but he handles his business. And one thing that I did notice about him, which kind of threw me, which surprised me, is he's 6'7". Like that dude is a monster. Like for him to be
Mhm.
that tall, like he fills out. He pause, but he fills that frame out. Like at like 6'7", that's a gigantic individual right there. And
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me that he gets his hands on as many passes as he does, because I don't know what his wingspan is, but when you're 6'7", you can get your hands on some passes for sure, for sure. So that probably won't be his last interception, and he's got some hands. Like Tracy Walker might have to, hey, he could be a tight end. Watch out for Hutch.
That interception was just it was one-handed, and he was off balance, and he snagged it.
Yeah, he
So,
went and got that.
yeah, so shout out to Hutch, man. I featured player of the week. Well, we lucked up with that one. We did. Um, False, right about now, we can also after, we're gonna wrap this portion of the show up, but can you give me your offensive and defensive players of the game?
Offensively, I almost wanted to give it to Josh Reynolds just because he was playing that primary number one receiver. Once again, you would have thought that he was the everyday number one receiver the way he played. I mean, the pressure was the pressure was on, given that they didn't have to worry about St. Brown. He was the focal point, and he still got the job done. And I want to say he got a did he get a reception touchdown? I'm not
I don't think
100%
he,
sure. He
he
got
didn't get
one.
a
He
touch.
got one. He did.
Did he?
Yep. Um,
Okay.
but Sam Laporta had two. He had the so he is currently the number one tight end in the entire NFL, the most receiving yards. He's got a few touchdowns to go with that. So, gotta I feel like he's won the offensive player at least once before. Maybe it was last week, um but yeah, I'm gonna go with the rookie, man. Show the rookie some love, because hey, that pick wasn't the most popular pick when it was put out there, but he's proven a lot of people wrong with how he's been playing since day one, since the very beginning. So Laporta,
Well,
um,
I have to be different, Foster.
do it.
My offensive player of the game was Jared Goff.
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't shown him any love this year.
The quarterback,
Yeah,
they get all the love, so it's like,
but this is game 5. He hasn't won an MVP yet,
right. That's
and
true. That's true.
he was 20 of 28, 236 yards, 4 total touchdowns, passer rating of 132.4. I don't think we could debate, I mean, you picked who you picked, but you can't, fault me for saying, "Hey,
No,
Jared Goff is your player of the game." I
no
mean, if you
picks, no
get
picks.
no picks, no turnovers, and he was under pressure a little bit. The pass rush got to him a little bit, and he could have very easily coughed up the ball or threw an errant pass. So, but
Yeah.
you know, for me, it was Jared Goff. Who you have defensively, Foster?
Well, I want to say one more thing about Jared Goff. For one, he's the highest rated quarterback right now as far as the PFF ratings,
Uh
and
oh,
he has the most completions over 20 plus yards out of all the quarterbacks, even Tua. We know Tua puts that ball in the air. He's got Tyreek Hill, he's got Waddle, he's got all those weapons on the outside, and Golf has more. And this is a guy that's not known for the deep pass. So however he's getting the
that's
job
without
done.
that's without a legit deep threat on the field until Sunday.
Right, and Jameson Williams has yet to. I think he actually did have two catches. I think a couple short screen routes that we weren't able to get him
Yeah,
going on, but Yeah, we haven't even really unleashed our deep threat yet, and he has all those 20 plus. Shout out to Laporta though, because I think Laporta is probably has the most or up there with the most 20 plus yard receptions, if not like Reynolds or the obvious Brown. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
defense though.
Wait for Marvin Jones to get a couple deep passes, man.
Nah. I won't hold my breath.
Hey, man, a player can dream. A player can dream. Defensively, who you got, Foss?
Defense is pretty obvious. Hutch leads the league in pressures. Definitely had some more pressures this game. He had a
Mhm.
sack. He had an interception, and heart and soul. He was the highest rated defensive player on the Lions, and he once again had another good game of stopping the run. So
Mhm.
that one was pretty easy. Your boy Jury made a
Jury.
nice claim though. Nice claim.
Yeah, you got to give it to Hutch. You got to give it to Hutch. The interception, got a sack, and I know he had at least one tackle for loss outside of that sack. So, uh, Hutch is he's earning it. He will be at this pace. He will be in a Pro Bowl, and like you said, 15 sacks, which I don't expect him to get 15, but I do expect him to get 10 at this pace. He
Yeah,
had 9.5 last year. So
right.
you get double digits in sacks and you're only in your second year. I mean,
He started
uh,
slow. He definitely had a couple games where people were like, I don't know about Hutch. Maybe this wasn't. Can you imagine? People were saying that this may not have been the pick that we all wanted it to be. But he kept that consistency throughout the second half of the year because we did struggle defensively as a team early on in the year. So um, I expect him to keep a nice pace for the rest of the year.
I got a homie that's a diehard Lions fans.
Okay.
And you know how you started the year last year? Was it 1-6?
Something like that.
It was something like that. We started the year last year 1-6, and he made a post and he was going off, and he was like, you know, this person needs to stamp it up. And Hutch, you're not doing it. And he's a big Michigan fan as well. So he's like, and Hutch, you
Mm,
need to step it up as well. And then after that,
got his
it's
act
been
together.
yeah, it's been up. He's been showing and proving why he was the second number 2 pick and considered one of the best pass rushers in college his senior year. So, uh, yeah, man, that'll do it for the Lions versus Carolina. That's one in the books. For those, we are 4-1. And who we got next, Foster? Who we play
Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa.
in Tampa?
Yep.
In Tampa, Tampa Bay's been one of those teams that's been secretly good.
Mhm.
Like
Quietly.
we didn't
Quietly. Sure.
we haven't expected a lot from they beat Minnesota. I watched the entire game versus Minnesota, their first game, and they kinda hung around, right?
Yeah.
Kinda hung around and they stole that game. And then they played somebody else that was good the next week and lost.
Eagles.
The Eagles. They're the Eagles. But they were in the game for a minute. They were in the game. So uh man, this team here, it's not gonna be an easy game. I tell you
Mm.
that. But
It's gonna be
before we
hot.
go into any further, Foster, we do have to pay some bills. Give us 1 second here. I think we have to do what we do pass rush wise versus um, Baker Mayfield. I think he tends to throw the ball wherever under pressure, and that's something that's going to have to take place Sunday. Um, So they changed the game time to 4 o'clock, and a lot of people are disappointed because I know people that are traveling down there and that are going to that game, and they had flights
Oh, to
coming
leave
back.
later on? Oh, dang.
Yeah, they would have flights. I know a particular person that had a flight at 7 o'clock to leave,
Can't do that.
and the game was supposed to start at 1, so he would have had plenty of time.
Right.
But now it's like he has tickets and he's trying. I know he was trying to sell his tickets while he was down, while
Wow.
he's there. So because he has to be back. There's no way he can miss it. He can't miss his flight. He has other stuff to do. So that was a pain in the butt. But why did they move the game back, Foster? I have no idea.
So, Fox, so the game is on Fox, and
Okay.
I believe, and you get TV slots. So either Fox gets a 1 o'clock and a four, or how does that work? They only play 3 games between Fox and CBS. So either Fox gets 2 at that 1 and 4 slot, or CBS gets a 1 and a 4. So basically, it was a TV thing to where we got a national televised game to where not just Detroiters and just Tampa Bay people get to see it, but the
Nationally
world,
televised.
the world will
Yeah.
get to see it. And right
Makes
now,
sense.
it's the Lions are hot. People want to see them, and they want to, people want to see what the fuss is about. So it's good for our exposure and marketing and all that good stuff. But that's why we got to come in there and lay the wood because you know the eyes are on us now. We got a Monday night game. We got Thanksgiving, of course. They already saw us versus the Chiefs. So game of the week, boom, there it is. Yeah, yeah.
He's asking, but
Oh, is he
probably,
asking? Oh, probably. Um,
probably, and I think that's why they moved it to 4.
because obviously it's a normally the 4 o'clock games are the West Coast games because they start at 1 o'clock, West time. So for them to put a 4 o'clock game in Florida on Eastern time, that's a TV slot. That's
Well,
just what it comes down to.
yesterday they showed, they had Fox playing at 1 o'clock,
Yeah,
and then they had the other station, CBS, playing at 4. So they
they
might
go
be
back.
flip-flopping,
Yeah, they go.
and
It
they
goes
probably
back and
made
forth.
that and they probably made that game of the week. So it's starting to make sense now that we're talking about it. Not quite sure, don't quote us, but we know the game is at 4 o'clock,
That's
and
100% at 4 o'clock.
and it's a reason why they did it. So we figured it's because of those reasons. Are you worried about Tampa Bay? Do you have any? We're 4-1. Uh,
We're 4-1, but they're 3-1. They are
mhm.
2-0 versus the NFC North. Of course, we the the weakest division in the NFC, I believe. We have 4 wins, and the rest of the 3 NFC North teams have 4 wins combined. Um, but
They're not
it's
gonna
it's
like you Wednesday if you show up to the
I
conference
can't
show.
say stuff like that. I gotta
You
lie
can't
to
say
them.
that stuff. You can't say it. Okay, to put in context, we have a show on Wednesday with uh, a Green Bay representative, a Bears representative, and a Vikings representative. So, Foster, you can't say those kind of things. We have to talk to those people on Wednesday.
Gotta play nice on Wednesday, right?
And they're so nice. It's like I want to talk stuff, but they're so nice. Like it's not. I read the room. And it's like
Early
they're
on, yeah.
giving Lions props, and we're happy you guys
It
are.
was almost courtesy. It's
Great.
like, oh, they're doing good now. We pulling for you.
I think they're trolling us, Foss. I think, and now that you mention that, they might be trolling us. But still, I don't want to go in there and talk crazy yet. Um, but 4-1 versus 3-1 Tampa Bay. Um, they've been playing good football. I I would feel very comfortable if we St. Brown was playing and Gibbs was playing and JMO was playing. I would feel a lot more comfortable if we had our full complement of offensive weapons. Uh, they even said during the week that, Josh Reynolds was questionable,
Well, I
uh,
feel like
but
yeah.
before the game, you know what I'm saying, before Sunday's game, and I was like, "Dang," like, it's too many injuries, like,
Yeah. And
so and I think we
for
had a backup quarterback that, backup running back that got hurt. Um,
and
not
during the game
Reynolds.
or
Wasn't it
what
somebody else
night?
that got hurt?
Bam Knight?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I don't
Knight
know.
had one yeah, Knight oh, yeah, so Bam Knight, I think got a I don't know if it was a screen, it was a pretty nice play, it was about 8, 9 yards, and then I
Yeah,
think he came off the field as well, so, yeah, we need
yeah.
Gibbs to come back. Um, but overall, as far as the Buccaneers, like you said, I think it's going to be the key is going to be getting to Baker Mayfield because I think he is susceptible to making some mistakes. Thus far, he's taking care of the ball pretty well. He's got 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Um, but it's another one of those games where it's like, what really jumps out at you? You got Mike Evans, who's getting up there in age, but he's still pretty consistent. I think Chris Godwin is probably their best receiver, um, and who I'm assuming Mayfield is definitely connected with this year. But running game's pretty mediocre in my opinion, and their defense is about middle of the pack. They're about 15. They're 15th in the league. And I think they're better against the pass. I want to say they're 8th against the pass. And actually, let me look that up real quick. Um, they're 8th against the rush and 19th against the pass because I think they've had some injuries in the
Mm,
secondary. So there's definitely some weaknesses that we can exploit. And I'm ready to see JMO. Like he had one game, had a
Swift had a
shit.
field day against them, though.
You said Swift did.
Swift had a field day against them on Monday Night
Okay,
Football.
and the Eagles, yeah.
That
So,
was his game. That was a game where everybody was like, "We traded Swift. We could have kept
was that
him."
Tampa?
And
Was that the Tampa Bay game, or
that
was
was
that
versus Tampa Bay. He got busy versus Tampa Bay.
okay? Yeah. So, yeah, I think they are capable of being. I mean, our offense really hasn't struggled for a full game, anyways. We've had moments of struggle, but overall, our offense has been able to do things in spite of the fact that we haven't been 100% healthy with all of our weapons all at one time. Obviously, J-Mo just came back, so um,
Mhm.
I just hope that we can continue to get healthier and not more hurt.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, this is the time where I have to ask you a prediction for Sunday's game.
Mhm.
It's all on you, Foster. You've been hot. You've
I need
been
to
you've been on a
find
roll.
yeah,
You're
I need
4
to
and
find
1.
the records. I know I didn't predict us to put up 40 points against Carolina, so I know I was a little off, but I know I predicted on the high end. Um, mm, I was prepared to possibly say that the Lions might lose just because it is on the road. The Buccaneers have
Oh,
been solid.
Foss.
They've
Of
done well
course.
against the NFC North, and you can't pick them to win every game, right? But we've proven that
Oh, Foss.
we're road
This is not
warriors.
good. This is not good, Foss.
I said I was
Come
prepared. I
on,
said I was
man.
prepared. I was
Come
prepared.
on, man. Give me a score, bro.
But um, we've proven that we can win on the road. We've won in more hostile areas than the Tampa Bay, and I just can't see Tampa Bay stopping us. I think they're going to score. So I think they are going to score some points. I think they are going to put some points on the board because Mike Evans is tough. Chris Godwin is tough.
Jury. We put jury on Mike Evans. We put jury
On
on him.
Mike Evans, Maybe so. Maybe so. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. That might be the move, honestly. That might be the move to put him on Mike Evans. Mike Evans
No,
is
it's
tough.
not, Foss. No, I'm joking. It was a joke. No. If
That's
you're
the big
going to
guy.
do that, if you're going to do that, you better shade a safety over there with him.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Okay.
Godwin's tough too. But yeah, I think this is gonna be kind of a high scoring
Godwin
game.
is tough. Godwin is
Um I'm gonna go 35-28, Detroit. Taking
we
another
need Branch. We need Branch back too.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen too much yet as to you know, what his update, what his updated injury stuff is.
Hey,
So
look,
it's still
Foss.
early. So
I got an idea, right?
okay.
Sometime during the week before Sunday's game, it could be Friday, it could be Saturday, it could be late, it could be later on Thursday. Let's do a little 5-minute show on the injury report because the injuries are mounting up, and we can let the people know who's who should we expect to play on Sunday. I think when does the injury report come out for Sunday?
I mean, they give updates throughout the week. I mean, I think Devonte Adams was just finally like this afternoon given the full, going from questionable to active. So it's forever changing depending on,
Mhm.
practice by practice. But I think you have a good idea by at least what, Thursday, Friday?
Quick
Doesn't
5-minute show. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have a Pistons show that we're going to do. Uh, so be on the lookout for post game podcast sometime this week, where we'll talk about what happened, uh, what we saw Sunday with the Pistons preseason game. Uh, right after this at 8 o'clock on Motor City, there's another Pistons podcast. Check out it's my boy John and his show. Just he's going to talk about Pistons, him and his partners. It's a good show. Check us out right here on City Metrics. So check them out. We also have a Pistons podcast on the very same channel as well. There's no competition. We're all family here. You know, they do what they do. We do what we do. We're not going to talk about the same things. It'll be a general consensus of the same things. However, they're not going to do it like we're going to do it, and we're not going to do it like they're going to do it. Uh,
Facts.
so, Foss, you got anything before we wrap this up, bro?
No, man, taking it 1 week at a time. This is an exciting time for the Detroit Lions, but yeah, we gotta continue to play every game with a chip on our shoulders because we're trying to get that first round bye and in the home game, the first that
Mhm.
you know first playoff game we wanna have at home. It's gonna be rocking, but we'll get there when we get there. One game at a time. We're
I
winning the
tell
ones
you
we're
what,
supposed to win, though.
I tell you what. Now, if the Lions happen to get playoffs in Detroit, we going to that game.
Mandatory.
We're
Mandatory.
going to that game. All right. So we're gonna get out of here. Lions are 4-1, headed to Tampa Bay. Foster has picked the Lions to win 35-28. And of course, I'm going to give my prediction. And I am saying that the Lions